took me to a doctor that was black market where we could get hormonal therapy at this time. He would shoot us with the injection for $10.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I going to
And
get this $10 from is the next question you probably got that.
well, and that at that point, then you were 16. Like you did that.
I started, I was 16. I had been hormoning for 16 and still going to high school. So yes,
So
I was hormoning at 16.
Got you. And so at that point, had you left home?
I had left home around, I'd say 16, because I had just, it was weird how I transitioned from home. My mother was struggling with alcoholism, and it was just a rough patch of my life for me. And, you know, I don't want to tell her story here, but it was for me, from my side of it, I felt abandoned. I felt, you know, sleeping in the hallways, and, you know, I didn't really have a home. So these people took me into their homes to help them, you know, and I slept on their floors, and, you know, they let me, you know, live with them and fed me so I could get up every morning and go to school. And then I got into, you know, hanging out with gay people. And then I got a sugar daddy, and, you know, then the sexual escapades started happening. And, you know, I moved from the gay world into the trans world. So that was a very quick transition, by the way.
I remember, like you referred to the life, which is, I don't know that like everyone knows that term and what that term means, especially folks who aren't part of our community. Like I remember I first heard the term of the life. I remember I was like in my early 20s, and I was actually in Atlanta, and I was there for a conference. I was like, it was a huge culture shock for me. It was my first time there, and I was stuck in Atlanta with no money, no credit cards, no nothing. And I remember I was like walking around on the street to I think I was trying to find something to eat. And this person came up to me and was like, "Hey, like, are you of the life?" And I was just like, "What do you mean the life?" You know? And then I got kind of educated a little bit about what the life is. Do you want to talk a little bit about what the life is?
Yeah. Well, the life predominantly, and probably when people join us, they can really give us a better definition of what it means to them. But the way that I perceived the life was being in the gay community. Mm-hmm. That is being in the life, meaning that you are an alternative style lifestyle. That is in the life. And I took that as being a gay lifestyle, not a trans lifestyle, being in a gay lifestyle.
Yeah. So, and is the life is that more of like, is that origins from the Black community? Because I kind of
I would have to predominantly say it came from the Black community. Yes.
Yeah. When I talked with this person, I believe they said that there was like a book or something that was somebody had written about the life or something like that. And maybe I'm just not.
Maybe you heard about the written, but I lived it. So I know. That's how we called it. There was in an area of life where Chicago, we predominantly had house music, and this was a much older crowd than me because I was just coming into my teenage years. So this is my sisters. They were like 2 or 3 years ahead of me. And this is what the terms that they use for being in the life. And that referred to being with house music and alternative lifestyle. And that's with the, you know, the house music. And then the gay scenes, like the Rialtos of Chicago, you know, and the, you know, the gay dance scenes and things like that. That's where we picked up the word, the life from, for me.
Yeah. And when you're talking about like being a part of a house, was it a ball house or a pageant house, or was it even attached to anything like that?
Believe it or not, Chanel was about in the New York life. And that's where I got, because I was just a teenager. I never been to New York about the house balls. And I didn't even really learn about that until I moved to New York, like 30. I was like 30 or something at the time. But we called ourselves the House of Dupree because we were all family. So we called ourselves, because that was Chanel's last name, Dupree. So she was the original from the original House of Dupree in New York. But we came from the Duprees here in Chicago because of her lineage. So that's where the House of Dupree comes from for me. Because I was brought up in the house of Chanel.
Was there a ball scene? Was there a ball scene?
Well, if you want to call it a ball scene, we just called it Cheeks That was a club we used to go to called Cheeks, where all the girls would get together and we would prance in the mirror and, you know, be gorgeous and have shows, and we would pick up dates. This is where we would have men that are interested in women like me would go and pick up girls like me to go get my hormone money. So that's what I was taught to do.
Well, and where, like, what part of Chicago was that in?
North Side, Boys
North
Town.
Side, Boys
North
Town
Side,
area.
Diversity. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Wow.
I mean, fun back for now as an adult, but as you know, coming up and growing up that lifestyle, it was terrifying. I had some girls that were murdered. You know, I had some friends that were murdered. I've had girls that have been beat up and killed for money for trying to get their hormones, you know, trying to get their work done, you know, just trying to be comfortable in their own skin. And, you know, shady shit happens to us, you know, and that's a whole nother story. But, you know, growing up as a teenager, I had to keep my head. Yeah, I had to keep my head down, you know, because I did not have the breast. I did not, you know what I mean? And these girls were breasted up in nose jobs, and they had tricks that were taking them across the world to get this work done, you know, and I had to have it. I had to have it.